Hi, this is Bird from Bird's SVGs, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how I put the hibiscus gift bag together, and this is from the Club Tropicana SVG collection. So first of all, I'm going to put together the decorative element for the front of my card, which is my hibiscus flowers, and I've got a tropical leaf here as well. So you're cutting out two pieces of green card, which you'll be layering the smaller one on top of the larger one. So I'm just popping that in place, making sure that my border is even around the edges. And then I can start to put my flowers together. Now the way I've designed the flowers is that if you want to put them directly on top of each other, or if you want to kind of layer one up with some dimensional adhesive behind it, you can do that. So I've decided to do that with my card. So I'm going to put my smaller flower, this yellow one, directly onto my green card, and then I'm going to elevate my pink one, which will be my larger flower. So I've just added some glue behind my yellow flower and put the red liner behind it, and I've put my little stamen in place, and that completes my flower. And then I'll just add some glue here and pop it directly on top of my leafy area. And you want to line it up with the edge of your lighter green layer. I'm just using a little wooden stick to take out any excess glue there. So now I'm going to put my pink flower together, and I'm going to do the same. I'm going to put my little stamen into place. And then I'll pop this piece over, add some glue onto the back. Because you can't really add the glue onto the darker pink piece because you might get it in the holes. So you definitely want to add it onto the back of this piece and then pop your darker pink piece into place, just trying to line up all the edges. I've just got a couple of little bits of glue that are trying to sneak out there. I'm going to pop this over and put some 3D foam pads on the back. I'm just taking off all of the backings off my foam pads. And then I can pop this into place, line it up with that pale green layer again to get the perfect placement. And that's my flower element for the front of my bag done. Moving on to the bag, I have the front and back pieces here that form the sides as well. And I'm going to fold along all of the score lines. And I'll set the base two pieces aside and I'll use them later as well. So I folded one, I just need to fold the other piece now. And then we'll attach the two together. So I just need to add some glue to this side tab. And I want to make sure that I get fairly near the edge, but without adding too much glue. And it can be a little bit difficult with pattern paper to line up exactly along the score lines. So if you need to, you can actually fold along that line and join it that way. Okay, so now on to the other side. Add some glue along this tab, trying to go near the edges but without adding too much glue. And then we've formed the base of our bag. And we just need to pop the bottom in. Now here I'm having trouble lining up along this, or seeing the score line. It's just because the pattern paper I've chosen is very busy, so it was a little bit tricky to see there. I'm just folding the top and bottom in. I'll add some glue on them towards the end. And I'm just folding my bottom pieces over. Now you've got two pieces to form your base. One slightly smaller, and then that'll go on the inside. So that'll add it'll make the base a bit more sturdy, but it'll also hide all the tabs. No one can see your workings. So it'll make it a lot neater inside. So I'm just adding some glue around the edges of all of the tabs. And again, you want to come out to the edge, but again, you don't want to add too much glue either. You don't want it oozing out. And then you pop your base on. And then you kind of want to wriggle your bag around, make sure that all the edges are kind of matched up. And then I've got quite a long bone folder here, and I'm just using that to press down along the tabs and try and press it into my base to make sure that all the glue is actually, going to take hold. Okay, I'm just adding a little bit of glue to the edges of these, I suppose they're flaps that go onto the inside. But what I've forgotten to do, if you've noticed, is I've forgotten to add the extra piece of the inside of my bag, but I do remember to do that at the end. Okay, so these extra flaps here on the front and back, it's just a way to add a little bit of rigidity to the top of the bag, especially because that's where your handle's going to be going. So I've just used some, I actually used some twill ribbon for my handles, and I just popped them through and tied a knot on the inside. But because you've got this extra flap there, you don't need any of those little supporting hole pieces like I sometimes do on my bags. Okay, so I've got my flower embellishment here. I've popped it over because I'm going to add some 3D foam tape onto the back of this, so it stands proud of the bag a little bit. Just removing all the backings there. Now, of course, when you pop this onto the front of your bag, you don't want to crush it. So I'm just going to pop my hand inside. I'm just placing it loosely on the top. And then I've put one hand inside, so then I've got something to press against. And there, I think it's all finished, and I've forgotten to put my inside in. The sides of the bag have actually got score lines. So if you do want to add, the folds to the sides of your bag, you can do that. Finally, I remembered to add this piece. So it feels a little bit strange to be adding glue to this side of the pattern paper, but of course we want the spotty side to be showing upwards, because that'll match in with the rest of the inside of the bag. So I've just dropped that into place, and actually the bag was actually big enough for me to get my arm in there, so I didn't need to use the bone folder, but I'd use that as well, just to show that you could do either or. So I'm just smoothing that into place, just making sure that all the glue's connecting with the tabs and with the layer underneath. Then all you need to do to your bag is add your ribbon, or some, some rope or twine. And here's how it looks when it's finished.